Hey coaches, welcome to my channel and to the live stream. Hopefully it doesn't look that bad. My name is Coach Mackey, and if this is the first time you are joining me on my channel, I put out videos on the spread offense. And if you enjoy learning about the spread offense, then please click the subscribe button down below. Now again, please have some patience with me. This is only the second time I've done something like this. If you're in the chat and everything's going good, please say hello. And please give it a thumbs up to let me know that I'm doing all right. What I'm going to go over is well, first off, a little humble brag. I begged and pleaded with my wife to let me go to the one back clinic that was out in California. And she said yes. I don't know why. Out of the goodness of her heart, she said yes. And I was able to fly out to California, and I was able to hear great speakers like Hal Mumme, Timmy Chang, June Jones, John Jenkins, who was crazy, and Noel Mazzoni. And what I'm going to go over today is how Hal Mumme teaches his mesh concept and how it actually, for me, it just clicked and made sense. The first thing he went over was he did at a simple 2x2. So, and what he did is he explained that originally he had this guy right here, the R, run a corner route. And he would just always run the corner route, and if he wanted to change that route, he would tag it with something else like a post or a dig or a corner post or something like that. Well, when he got with June Jones at SMU, June kind of influenced him a little bit with his run and shoot style, and then he got the choice. He was like, hey, how about we give this guy right here the choice on how to either run the post, the corner, or the out route. And he liked that, but Hal said that he couldn't quite get it on the read on the run. So what he did instead was he would signal it. And the way he would do that is he told the quarterback to signal to the wide receiver what he wanted the wide receiver to run. So the quarterback did it, not the wide receiver to the quarterback. And Coach Gonzalez, how are you, sir? You doing okay this Monday morning? Morning. Good Lord, what am I talking about? This evening? So what he did was they played the game off the safety and the corner. And Hal said, okay, if this corner is outside and this safety is within 10 yards or under, the quarterback would signal to the wide receiver saying run a post. If this safety was deep and this corner was inside leverage, then the quarterback would signal to the wide receiver to run a corner route. And if the safety was deep and the corner was also deep, then the quarterback would signal to the wide receiver to run a 10-yard out. And that's what they did. Now, besides this, he still has the Y set in the mesh. And he says he has the mesh going at 6 yards. No deeper than 6 yards. And I said, Coach, my guys always set the mesh point when we practice it at 6 yards. But when we do 7-on-7 or an actual game, they set the mesh at like 2 or 3 yards. Is that okay? Because that was kind of giving me problems. And he said that's fine. Anything under 6 yards is great. Anything over 6 yards, then you have a problem. So the Y is setting the mesh, and he doesn't have the other inside slot. In this case, the F set the mesh like Mike Leach does. He has the L set. And excuse me, I didn't draw it up quite right, but he has this guy a little bit closer to the F. And what he does is the outside receiver comes underneath. And he said in practice they actually slap hands. He does it over and over again to slap hands because that reinforces the idea that you want to get as tight as possible to the Y because it's essentially a pick route. And they would slap hands over and over again. And the L goes first, then the F comes off of his butt at about 5 yards. Now, he said the beautiful thing that he changed also on the mesh is, when they mesh, they sit in zone they kind of drift a little bit once it's man, a little bit this way. Well, he said he started doing the moment that these guys see that it's man, they almost immediately get up the hash. So it turns almost into a vertical route. And he teaches the quarterback that now if you see that, you put some air under the ball because it should be 6 and not a bullet where he's slightly bending it up. So that's another thing that he said he figured out once he was with June Jones at SMU for that 1 year. And Coach TC, how are you doing? Thanks for coming and joining us. So, and then the third thing that he did differently is the running back. He actually had the running back check release instead of just automatically flaring it out to the side. And the reason why he did that is if there was an off chance that the defense was blitzing, then he could pick somebody up, and then he knew that he had a potential big play going for him. So the quarterback progression is this is first. So the quarterback, he said, takes 1 step and sets. Left and set if he's a right-handed quarterback, or right then set if he's a left-handed quarterback. And he said that he's now gone to the mesh concept being a quick game and not a drop back, 3-step, 5-step drop back, which I thought was kind of interesting because now it kind of ties in the Y stick and the Y corner essentially because you still got the stick or corner and then you have it right here, which I thought that was pretty neat. So the quarterback, takes a 1 step and sets, and then he is looking, and this is his words, to play pitch and catch right here with this guy. That's all he's worried about. He's trying to just play backyard football with this guy. All right? So if he's open, he just sets and throws it. If not, he just hitches or moves his feet, and then he's looking for the running back. And what he's doing is, if these guys are dropping back right here, then he knows that the running back is going to be in the flats. So he's going 1 to 2. Now this is saying that if no one blitzes. So 1 to 2, and then he teaches his quarterbacks, instead of going 3 to 4, to just look it in the middle and actually read the mesh. And the great thing about that, and what he said is, at first, and I've had this problem, let me know if you had this problem with those that have run it, is the quarterbacks hate it. He said his quarterback bitches and complains all the time about how he hates this route. And he tells the quarterback to shut the hell up because this is his favorite play. And if you want to play for him, you have to know how to run this play. And he said eventually just keep harping on him. You got to read it. You got to read it. Just stare down the center. And then you can be able to see out of your peripheral vision, both of them, which one's going to pop open. Then suddenly it clicks for the quarterback. So, hey, Coach Iron, we got a couple of coaches coming in. Welcome. I'm glad y'all can join us. The football nerd, I've actually seen Cliff Kingsbury have his guys use the low 5 technique during games when running the mesh. Me too. I've actually seen, I'm a huge Chip Kelly fan. I know a lot of y'all probably hate him now since he went to the NFL. But with the Eagles, they would always slap hands every time they would run the mesh. And I think my guys kind of do it as well, and that's fine. When I see those guys doing it, I know I'm kind of on the right path. And Steven, what's up, Coach? Find grass off the mesh? Yes, sir. What I was just saying is Mumme has them find grass if it's zone or if it's man. Once they slap hands or get close enough to go, they actually turn it up the hash and turn it into kind of a vertical route, which I think is amazing. Coach Quigley, I hope I'm saying that right. Please forgive me. Eagles scored a touchdown a few years ago slapping hands of what I believe was a mesh under Chip Kelly. Exactly. And if Chip Kelly slaps hands, Mike Leach slaps hands, and Hal Mumme slaps hands, then you best believe Coach Mackey's going to teach how to slap hands because those guys are a lot better than I am. So, getting back here, Coach Mumme said he just teaches his guys to just read the mesh, and one of them's going to pop open. So, I know it goes 1, 2, 3 to 4, but actually he just reads this as 3, and then this is his 4th one. This is I call it the oh shit, but this is Coach Mumme's bailout. And he told us that he lets this guy call for ball. And he tells the quarterback that anytime he hears that ball call, he's automatically throwing it. Is this camera all right? So he's automatically throwing it. And if that F1 doesn't, he has to get 10 yards. If he doesn't get 10 yards, he said, Coach Mumme said it, he just gets on his case in the sideline. And 2, if the quarterback turns and just throws it and it's picked off, that's not his fault because he's been taught to throw it on the ball call. That's actually the wide receiver's fault. And again, he's going to dig in his tail once he comes off of the field because that is not the quarterback's fault. That's his fault. So, now, if the defense blitzes, let's say this guy comes, then the quarterback knows that the running back now is stepping up and he is in pass protection. So it goes 1 to now 2. The running back is off of the progression and the quarterback should have a pretty big hole and a decent gain right now. If both of these guys come, then the quarterback knows, hey, I don't really have a chance right here. He's going right here, right now. And another thing, I love what Hal Mumme said was he goes, coaches, sometimes the defensive guys, they actually make plays. And if I call mesh and they bring the house and they're playing man coverage and they give it us for a sack, I'm calling mesh the very next play because I've found throughout my career that when I call mesh the next play, it goes for at least 40 yards or more, and we actually score a lot of our touchdowns from the mesh call going again once we got sacked. And I thought that was brilliant because I know a lot of defenses that we play, at least, they dial up the pressure when they know that we're a throwing team, and they come once, twice, a couple of times we've actually had teams come the entire series of just blitzing and trying to get to us really fast. So if I would have called this again, I have the potential for a home run shot, and that's something I'm going to take into the following season. So this is how he runs it out of straight 2x2. Now I'm fixing to draw up how he runs it out of 3x1. So he out of 3x1, it pretty much stays the same, except for the F comes over here, and the running back switches sides. So now the running back is again check releasing here to there, and the F now has the running back's shoot route where he would. And the beautiful thing with this is nothing changes for the quarterback. The progressions are still the same. Football nerd, I'm assuming he half slides to the left, backside guard and backside tackle, single on, and running back has check on Mike or Sam. Yeah, Coach Mumme said he's still a big on big with the back doing that. He's kind of gotten to the half slide stuff when he has the running back in. If it's just straight up 5-man protection and the running back's automatically out in the route, then he will do a big on big. But if the running back is check releasing, then he half slides. Great question, Coach. So with this right here, what he does now is he still does the same thing. And he says he actually has a lot of teams play. He considers this right here, this read coverage, as an actual one high look. He teaches his quarterback, and June Jones said the same thing. He teaches his quarterback, said, hey, if there's someone in the middle of the field, that's one high to him. We're going to treat it as such. And the quarterback and the wide receiver still have the same exact thing of either a post, a corner, or an out. Coach Ja, welcome, Coach. Thanks for coming and stopping in. Coach, have you seen any youth teams that run this successfully? Actually, yes. I've seen some on YouTube. I have a lot of youth teams around here. Sorry about that. I got a text from another coach. A lot of youth teams around here actually run the wing T or the single wing. No one has actually gotten a spread team, but I know that on YouTube, if you Google it, you can actually see some teams actually running it. It's not that difficult. June Jones, and this is what it shocked me when he came up, he said that he's pissed at himself and because he hasn't ran the mesh in his package. If you don't know, June, I'm talking like I know him personally. June Jones quit at SMU and then took a job in Hawaii as an offensive coordinator for a really small school. And he said that before he got there, they've hardly won any games, never been to the playoffs or anything. And then when he went there, he installed, I forgot a couple of things, but the two main plays that he installed and they got really good at was the mesh concept and the switch concept out of the run and shoot. And he said between those two, the quarterback threw about 25 to 30 touchdown passes off that, and he wishes that he knew about the mesh concept, or actually installed the mesh concept earlier in his career, and he said his quarterbacks would have probably broken every record there ever was, and no one would have touched them because it's such a great route. So he said that you don't know what your kids can run until you ask them. So take that for what it's worth, Coach. I think they can run it. You can always try and just see. I do know, I've read somewhere that Coach Mumme said that if he was only going to install one play and have his team run only one play, it would actually be the mesh play at a different formations, because to the defense it looks totally different every time you run it. So getting back to this, Coach Mumme said that when he has this kind of look, he actually has his R run a lot more outs than corners or posts, because this guy is usually bailing a lot, and it just gives the 10-yard out so easy. So the quarterback's progression is still 1 to now 2, and he knows that he's not checking releasing, so it's 1 to 2. This right here is 3, and then now the oh shit, or the bailout, is the 4, is right here, the running back. And now the running back has the responsibility of check, releasing, and if he can get 10 yards, he just gives a ball call, and the quarterback just catch turns and just throws it out there to him. So, again, from the 2x2 set to the 3x1 set now, nothing changes. It's amazing, because what he said, what he wants the quarterbacks to do is to have the same reads. He does not care about these guys. He cares about this guy right here and keeping the reads the same for that guy. And I didn't look this up, but he said that his quarterback had the most yards and touchdown throws in every division in football. Now, I'm sure he can be blowing smoke up our butt because we didn't know, but I'm going to take him for his word. I could Google it right now, but I'm not going to. But that's what he does right now. Yeah, Coach Guckin. God, you really need to call me and tell me how to pronounce your last name, because I feel horrible about it. But he told that story before. He told that story at the One Back Clinic. He said he caught it 52 times and he scored 3 or 4 times off of it. He said he just kept calling it over and over and over again because the defense couldn't stop it. And golly. He said he did the same thing at Valdosta State with Chris Hatcher. He said he called the play the same going all the way down. They got the ball on their 10-yard line, and he called that same play, the mesh play, all the way down the field. And one time after the 4th or 5th time they ran it, Hatcher called a timeout and came to the sideline and was saying, "Coach, we keep running the same damn play over and over again." And Coach Mumme told him to shut the hell up, to go back out there because it's working and they can't stop it. And he actually continued to call the same play, and they scored on that drive. So I can actually see why, because you have so many options right here. Now, he got into some tags, and he said his number 1 tag for this is actually the wheel out of the 3x1. And what he does is when he calls wheel, I'm going to move this guy in because that's where he should be. Anytime he calls wheel, the route that the outside receiver is going to run is an automatic post route. And then the guy that's wheeling is the F. So he still runs his same flat, and then he wheels it up the field. And he said what he does, Coach Barrett, yes, thank you. Did you speak to me? Are you the one that said that you like my videos? Because I tried to talk to you, but we had to hurry up and go sit down because no one wanted to miss anything. How'd you like it? Did you get anything useful from the One Back Clinic? I'm trying to talk my wife into right now letting me go back next year. So I really enjoyed it. All right. So getting back to this, what he does with the quarterback still has the same read. He's still going here for 1, and if he can get this in the flat, he's going to throw it to the flat. And he said that in this is the hot right here, this F, if this backer comes off the edge. So if he goes to the flat, then he throws it. If not, then he holds it for half a second, and now he's got a hole shot right here, because what he found was that this guy would squeeze, and then this would be wide open. And I don't know if any of y'all follow Coach Mike Rowe on Twitter, but he is phenomenal, and he actually has a package that you can buy. I'll leave a description in the link below after this is over with for the Spartan system. It has a bunch of game film and stuff like that. And actually, some cut-ups are on there of Hal Mumme running the mesh play, and this is like his #1 tag to it. And you can see how wide open he is. He actually calls it a lot inside the 20-yard line. Excuse me. And it is amazing how wide open this guy is right here. So that's going to be my first tag once my guys actually grasp the concept. So, Coach Nerd, I haven't seen the type of route the R is running. I know Mike Leach loves the deep out. What is the read, run and shoot type read or pre-snap read? Football Nerd, it's actually the quarterback and tells or signals to the wide receiver what he wants them to do. He will either signal a post route, a corner route, or an out route, and he makes the decision based on the leverage of the safety in the corner. Hal Mumme doesn't give the wide receiver the ability to do it, and they don't do it on the fly because he said he tried to do it on the fly, but it never really meshed well, so to speak. So he just said, hey, quarterback, you tell the wide receiver what you want him to run, and that's what he's going to run. So and he got that from June Jones. June Jones influenced them right there. So he said he liked the run and shoot. He just couldn't fully dive all the way in because he didn't like how the reads weren't the same for the quarterback and the wide receiver. They weren't on the same page. This way, it's the best of both worlds. Coach Iron, how do you mesh receivers handle linebackers trying to reroute or cut off their routes? What we did is, and we got this drill from Northwestern, Coach Kyle Richardson. He has I got some practice film up. What they did when they practiced their mesh routes is the coaches, we would stand there. I'd have 3 coaches, and we are 2 coaches at least, and we would have bags, and we just beat the hell out of them in practice and get them used to doing that over and over and over again. And then, so they're used to taking the hit, slapping hands, and keep going. Or if they don't like that and you got small receivers, I know they have a return tag, which is, let's say the Y is going, and right when he gets to the tackle, he puts his foot in the ground, and now he comes back out, kind of like the Coverdale mesh route, where he would whip it back out and then settle up if there's a guy right here, or keep breaking it out if it was man. That's one way you could do it. All right, Coach Barrett, I'm glad that I have that memory down packed. I knew it was you. I just didn't want to sound like a complete jerk if I said, hey, yeah, we met, and it wasn't you. I would have felt like an asshole. So, Coach Gonzalez, when did you start coaching? I'm going on my 8th year coaching. I started right when I got out of college, but it took me about 6 years to get out of college because I was an idiot, and I went from math to PE back to math. So, have you ever coached in an under center offense? When I was in high school, I haven't coached personally, but when I was in high school, we did a little bit of both. We went under center and shotgun. And in fact, I played quarterback a little bit under center. My claim to fame was the team in Georgia that had the longest losing streak. Yeah, they beat our team in high school, and I was the quarterback. So, yay. So, now getting back to this. The quarterback's reads would be 1 to 2 to 3. And remember, both meshes are 3. It's not 3 to 4, or it's not 3 to 4 or 3 to 4. It's right in the middle. Use your peripheral vision to find it, to 5 and or to 4. And Coach Mumme, I've read, says that most quarterbacks play basketball, so they have vision, so they should be able to see out of the corners of their eyes, the peripheral vision, who pops open. So that's how he runs it out of the 3x1. I'm going to show you. He also did a phenomenal presentation right here on how he does it out of 2-back. So I'm going to draw that up. And if you are joining me, first off, let me go and stop. I have some coaches in here, 38 coaches. Welcome. My name is Coach Mackey. If this is the first time you've been here, this is my channel. Welcome to my channel. I put out spread offensive videos every Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. So if you want to learn about the spread offense, or you enjoy hearing about different things with the spread offense, then please subscribe. The link is right below the chat box. If this video sounds okay or you find it useful, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know how it's going. Also, I've made a free ebook, air raid ebook, and at the end of this clinic, I'm going to give out the website so anybody can take it. It's just, again, my way of giving back to y'all. I enjoy doing this, and I just want to say thank you for listening to me ramble and talk about a sport that I love. Now, the last thing he did, formation-wise, is he did it at a blue-green, which he still calls blue-green and what we call blue-green two-backs. And he said since a lot of teams, us included, like to push this guy in motion when they run inside zone at the two-back set so they can either throw the ball or hand it off. So he's done mesh the same way. He has actually pushed the F out. Oh, goodness. Let me get the quarterback and put him up a little bit. Same with the running back. And now he runs the swing route. The L and the Y are still meshing, so nothing changes for them. So when they come across, they're, again, 6 yards. They're looking for whether it's man or zone. If it's zone, they settle up. If it's man, they keep going up the hashes. That is something that Coach Mumme has just put in. And the R has either a corner or a post or an out, depending on what the quarterback signals to him. And the thing that changes and what he said he likes is now the quarterback or the running back has to go over to protect first to check before releasing out to the flat. So it gives the illusion that they're running inside zone with the bubble, although they're running the mesh. So I thought that was genius. It's almost like a play action without the play action. Coach Ponce, welcome to the channel, and thanks for the question. Is he trying to hit the post on the break under the safety, or is it a deep post? He didn't really say. What I can tell you how we run it and how I'm going to teach it is this is going to be a deep post behind the safety. If you imagine the uprights, he wants to go 10 yards and set his angle to that top upright. He doesn't want to cross over. He wants to get above the safety. At least that's what I'm going to teach it. I don't want to speak for Coach Mumme, but that's a great question, and I'm a dumbass for not asking that out there. Coach Berglund, I hope I'm saying that right. Please forgive me. How do you call this play? They call it 92. I think he didn't say, but I mean you can call this 92. I've actually seen some coaches call mesh like this. Anything you want, you can call it 92 this way or this way. You can come up. You don't even have to call it mesh. You can come up with any signal that you want. I think the end zone calls it Mercedes. I think so. You can call it anything you want to, just as long as the kids know. What software do you use? I am using, this is Huddle Playbook. Football nerd, lots of air raid coaches call the concepts by numbers first. They'll call it either 92 or simply mesh. They can tag it with whatever they want. Exactly, football nerd. We're on the same page. I like that. So, the quarterback's read, nothing changes. 1 to 2 to 3 to now 4. And now since the running back is going to this side, he is now the ball caller. And remember, he calls ball. Coach Mumme said he better give him 10 yards. If he doesn't give him 10 yards, he's going to dig in his tail, and he's going to wish that he did get 10 yards. So if you think about it from a quarterback's perspective, this right here is actually like the 3x1 mesh route, which I think is brilliant because, again, you've got 3 different ways to run mesh, 3 different formations, and a different presentation at a 2-back here. And to the defense, that looks like 3 different plays, but to the quarterback, it is still the same. And that is the beauty and the simplicity of the air raid that I think it makes this the best offense that's ever been invented. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about is an adjustment he makes when it's in the red zone. Now, this is brilliant right here. So, he will bring this guy in, a nasty split, bring him in, And hold on, I want to make sure I got my notes right here. I know I'm dorky. Okay, so he does it at a 2-back, but he doesn't fast motion it. He just has these guys, both of them check releasing, and I remember this now. He says he has them both check releasing because in the red zone he finds, or the goal line, he finds a lot more man-to-man. And this is such a great route that he wants to make sure that his quarterback has the protection he needs in order for this play to succeed. Now, two things. When he said he gets inside the 10-yard line, he takes out the out route. He says he doesn't have enough, the running back, the wide receiver doesn't have enough space to run the out. So what he'll do then is he will run either the corner or the post. And again, the quarterback still has the ability and has the power to tell that wide receiver what to run. Either he's running the post or the corner. So he has that. The running back is check releasing. The F now is check releasing. And this is the tweak he has. He has the Y when it's 10 yards or in actually run not a read route, but he meshes like he normally does, and then he runs. Imagine this 0 right here is the back corner of the end zone, straight to the back corner of the end zone. So it goes 1 to 2 if no one's blitzing. If someone is blitzing, 1 to 2 to 2A right here. So the quarterback's looking to see if this pops open, but he knows that this is probably his touchdown right here. And I thought that was amazing, because how many times do y'all see it, coaches, that a lot of football coaches, defensive coordinators, they're fine in the 20. Some of them change from zone to man, but almost 99% of the coaches that I go up against, defensive coordinators, once you get that 10 and in, they're going straight man. Now, they don't care. They're going straight man to man. And this play right here is a brilliant, brilliant play, because now you have, if this is a corner, you have one corner to two corners. And he says that the quarterbacks work on these throws every day by putting trash cans in those corners and just throwing balls in those trash cans every day after practice. So the quarterback knows what kind of trajectory, I hope I'm saying that right, they need on the ball to get there. So again, it's 1, 2, but the quarterback kind of knows in his head that this is where he's going with the ball if this isn't open. And he said that once he did this, I want to say his first year at Belhaven, where he's at a Division III school, that they got so many touchdowns right here in the back corner of the end zone. So I'm stealing that. Coach Oswowski. I hope I said that right, Coach. Please forgive me if I didn't. Apologize if you covered this already. This version of mesh is different than a couple years ago when I saw him last. What is the base route by the Z? Is the Z the R in my terminology? Because I'm stupid like that, so I like the L and the R. So if you're talking about this guy right here, the R or the Z, I'm going to assume this is the Z. He has three options, and the quarterback tells him what he's going to run. He either runs a post, a corner, or a 10-yard out. And the quarterback is reading the leverage of the safety, the near safety to that guy, and the corner on what he thinks is the best route to attack the grass. So essentially, if this is what he has, the grass is here, he's calling the corner. If this is what he has right here, then the grass is right behind the safety, he's calling the post. And if they're both this way and the grass is right here, then he's going to call the out. That's how he does it. Football nerd, just for fun, could this be a concept that was all you ran? Besides some other quick game concepts, but out of all the different tags, formations, and motions you can do it out of, makes you wonder. Coach, I know, I've read it, and I'm going to try to find it and post it on Twitter. He's actually said that if you went to a small school again, because remember, he started out in Texas at Carver Clove. I don't know what it is. I know he said it was a small school in Texas. That if he was going to go back and do it again, this would be the only play he would run with tempo. And he would run it out of different formations with all the tags. That was the only thing they would do and they would get great at, because it presents such a problem to the defense. That because you got a couple of guys reading routes on the run, finding grass. You could signal this. You can get motion shifts, everything. And I like where he head's at, because if I was going to do it, if I went to a small school, this is the only thing I would run with a draw or something. Coach Owalski, Coach Mumme talks about this play like they do almost. Yes, they are. Okay, good. I'm glad I got that. Coach Gookin, great red zone adjustment. I agree. There we go, Coach Ponce. Thanks. Copperas Cove. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Actually, I don't think it was that small. Isn't it? Texas coaches, please help me out. That's not that small, is it? I don't think it is. But those are all of the ways Coach Mumme went over mesh. I will show you. I'm going to throw this out there. This was amazing. Coach June Jones actually had a little tweak on the mesh route, what he did at a 3x1. So I'm going to do that. Coach Price, how do you teach it this way, or do you teach it the Mike Leach way of the double outs if it's at a 2x2 and the slot guys meshing? Or do you teach it this way? I love this route, and I'm going to put it in tomorrow when we actually start our summer lifting. So I'm excited about that. So I'm going to draw up what Coach June Jones did when he was in Hawaii with his football team. So he had the Y and the the Y and the L still meshing, still doing the same thing, because if it's man, they're getting up the hash. I think he got that from, he still stole that from Coach Mumme. I don't know if you can steal something if you both come up with it, so don't mind me, I'm stupid. But what he would do here was he would actually run the switch concept out of the run and shoot. So the R would work up the hash, and then he would have, please run and shoot coaches, don't fuss at me if I get this wrong. They would either have the go, the post, or the sit down, and the F would then run the switch up the numbers, and he would either have the vertical or the sit down. And they just played the game this way, which is amazing. 1 to 2 to 3 to the back, check, releasing. And he said this was probably, Coach June Jones said this was probably the best route concept he has ever come up with. And he was kind of disappointed in himself that he didn't come up with this concept sooner in his career, because it could have been a game changer. Down here in Texas, they're all big. So yeah, isn't that the truth? I've met some Texas coaches, and they showed me pictures of the stadiums you guys play in. Good Lord, y'all might as well be colleges. It is insane. Coach Price, teach it this way. We also run mesh return for a change of pace, where the Y and the L go to the inside linebacker and return back out. Very good for us in the red zone. Yeah, that's a great tag that I've seen mesh teams that major in this do, and that is definitely something that I'm going to put into. Coach Price, real quick, do you put the tags in right when you install the mesh, or do you give the mesh route a couple of weeks for the players to actually get it before you introduce any tags? That's the one thing I got to get better at. I get excited about the different tags we can use, and I throw everything at them, and the players kind of go a little bit brain dead, and that's something I want to get better at. So, Coach Price, that is a great variation for backers looking to reroute. Exactly, Coach Ozwoski. That is a great example of it, and that's something I'm actually going to add to my package. I want to do better. We put tags in from the start. Great. So if you do it, I'm going to do it, because you've been running this a lot longer than I have. So this is the way, this is right here, June Jones's version of a mesh switch. I've gone over the way Coach Mumme teaches it and the different concepts he uses that I've learned from the One Back Clinic. If there's any questions, let me know. My Twitter handle, if you want to follow me on Twitter, is at Coach Mackie, MCKIE, Junior, JR. You can hit me up there. I love talking to you coaches. If there's anything that you want to talk to me about that you can't get me through Twitter, you can email me at ronmackeyfootball.com. I answer everything I can. I've been a little slow. I apologize. The whole month of May we had state standardized testing and then spring ball, so I've kind of been a little slack on the emails, but since it's summertime, I'm going to jump right back on that. Coach Ponce, do you run it on the right hash? Yes, you can run it on the right hash, and then the L now will run the corner, the post, or the out. That's how we're going to teach it. I think Coach Mumme just moves this guy over. I think that's what he does. He is still straight up old school. These guys are on the right. Everybody else is on the left. I think he still keeps the Y just on the right by himself. I could be wrong about that. Football Nerd, great stuff, Coach. Definitely watching this one over once posted. Thanks, Football Nerd. And hey, guys, if you haven't, please check out Football Nerd's channel. He puts up some phenomenal stuff. And I've got to be honest, buddy, I've been watching everything you've been putting out. It has been phenomenal. Please keep up the great work. Coach Wolfenbanger, Mark Wolfenbanger, could you please go over, though, that progression on the switch mess again? Sure, Coach. Coach June Jones teaches it as 1 to 2. The mesh is still 3. He still teaches it the same progression, the same way Coach Mumme does. If you look right down the middle and you'll find someone open. So this is 3 to 4. Now, I can give you a rough guess on how they do this. Is if they get 10 yards and they can't beat this corner, then he settles up. If he can in 10 yards, if he's even, he's leaving. On the switch route, if this guy is right in the middle right here, then he will, I think, take it straight up the hash or break it across. If he drops, he stops and finds the void. I think that's how they teach it. Please don't kill me. I know a little bit about the run and shoot. I'm not well versed in it like Timmy Chang and June Jones and John Jenkins. So please, guys, don't kill me about the run and shoot thing. Coach Iron, your switch route is on point. I don't have my wide receiver set. Okay, so you just have your guy just keep going up. That's fine. That's great, actually, because that's what I would do if I'm running this. I'm not a good enough teacher like June Jones is to tell him to, hey, sit up, throw your hand up, old school way, and sit down and come to the ball. So there you have it. So thanks for coming and stopping by. And guys, I'm a man of my word. If you want the free ebook on the air raid drills, please go to, and I'll write it up right here, www.airraiddrills.com. Right there. It's free. I give you 3 drills that we run every single day to get better at their air raid, and then plus a bonus drill for the quarterbacks and running backs. It's just my way of giving back to y'all because I'm surprised that I have an audience, to be honest. And I love talking ball with y'all because I've learned so many things from y'all that has made me a better football coach, and I just want to give something back in return. So thanks for visiting with us tonight, coaches. I appreciate it. This was fun. I may do another one. Oh, actually, yes. Mark it on your calendars for this Sunday at 2:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be doing another live stream, and I'm going to have a guest host, or a guest with me, not a guest host. I guess you can say it's a guest host. Coach Drew Piscopo. If you don't know Coach Piscopo, he is a purist when it comes to the air raid. I mean, this man is a fundamentalist when it comes to the air raid, and I'm excited because I have a crap ton of questions that I want answered. He has dived into it. He's actually got a couple of sources within the Leach camp, and he essentially teaches his offense the same way Mike Leach teaches it. So if there's any questions you want me to ask him, shoot me an email, and again, I'll put my email right up here, hopefully. There it is. I'm making so many. Let me get this out of the way. My email is ronmackey@ronmackeyfootball.com. There it is. Any questions you have, shoot me an email right there. If you want a free ebook on the air raid drills that we use, you can go to www.airraiddrills.com. And until next week, coaches, remember, let's continue to master the spread, score points, and have fun. I had a great time, coaches, and until next week.